Hello everyone, welcome to the female pant cutting tutorial. So in this tutorial I'll be showing you how the female pant is correctly cut out. So the first thing is to lay my pattern paper correctly and then mark out all my length. And by length I mean indicating my waistline, my hip line, which is 9 inches, my knee line, which is 18.5 inches, and then my trouser length, my full trouser length, which is just the length of this pattern paper, 40 inches. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side so I can link it all together on a straight line. 9 knee line, 18.5, and then the trouser length. So I'm going to join the two together on a straight line. So this is what I'll be working with today. So the first thing to do is firstly let me write out the measurement I'll be using. I'll be using waistline 34 inches, trouser length 40 inches, and then hip line 44 inches. So like I said, can we see this? The first step to do is to mark out our length, our hip length, our crouch length. How do we get our crouch length? We divide our hip by 4. Divide your hip by 4 and then remove 1 inch for low waist trousers that end by the waist above the hip. Add 1 inch for high waist trousers that end close to the under bust. Do you get my point? So that is what we have: hip length, crouch length, knee length. At the hip length, mark your hip, no sewing allowance. At the crouch length, mark your laps, measure it on the client. They don't get slap. They don't get slaps. Mark your laps, no sewing allowance. Can you see? 26 divided by 2, we have 13. 44 divided by 4, we have 11. And then come to your waistline and mark that same 11. Can we see this? Mark 11 as your hip at your waistline. And then from here, measure your waistline original measurement backwards. Don't just measure your waistline from this edge. It will not work. You have bulging. Mark your hip first. The slope is by the side, it's not at the center. I don't know if you get my point. The center front from hip to waist is straight, just like this. The shaping, any curve is by the side or at the back. So there is no slanting at the front, just slight slanting most times. Do you get my point? The original curve is by the side. That is why you keep having trouser bulge in front of female pants, which is not supposed to be. So measure your hip line at the waist. Your hip measurement 11, mark it at the waist. And then from this point, measure your waistline backwards. Can you see? 8.5 inch plus 1 inch plus 1 inch. Do you get my point? So the next thing I did was measure the excess you have here, whatever excess you have at this point. Can we see? Measure it. So this is 1.5. So I'm going to come down to the knee and mark that 1.5. So we have a curve, just like a skirt. Office pant is meant to imitate the women's shape, her body shape, not just blue anyhow. Do you get my point? So from here, I linked it to the hip, and from the hip, I linked it to the waistline. That's the magic I performed here. At this center, from the crouch, I linked it to the hip, and then from the hip, I linked it straight up to the waistline. Can we all see? Link your lap, your crouch to the hip, and then your hip to your waistline. Next thing I did was come to the waistline, mark whatever you have here. Do you get my point? 9.5, and then bring it here also. Mark the 9.5, join it to your laps. If this is a short, an office short, this is the end of the measurement. It ends at the knee. But this is not the office short. So we have to come down to the trouser mount, mark what we have here, the excess we have here. Can we all see? Mark what we have here first, 1.5, and then bring it down. When you get down, add 1 inch for pencil trouser, and then use your trouser mount. Our trouser mount is 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. So I'm going to link this 6.5 to the knee, and then this to the side knee. Come down to your trouser mount. What you have here, 1.5, is the same thing you have by the waist. Do you get? For the trouser mount, add 1 inch. Why? Because the body is not straight. The body is slanting down. From the waist, from the hip is getting smaller, 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 smaller. And that is the same thing with pencil skirt. So if you want pencil trouser, you have to use the same method at the side. The side is not straight, it's not possible. Whatever you have here by the knee, add 1 inch to it. So we'll be using 2.5 here, and then mark out your trouser mount from this allowance, from this marked point, 6.5, link it to the knee. I don't know if you understand my point. 6.5, link it to the knee. Do you get my point? So I'm going to cut out this pattern paper. Do well to ask questions if you feel confused or you don't understand any of the explanations. So this is our front pattern, and that is why there is no sewing allowance on it. This is our front pattern. This is our knee. This is our crouch. This is our hip. This is the waistline. This is a crouch slope, CS. This is a side slope, SS. Side slope or hip curve or body curve. So I'm going to cut this out and then use this to cut the back pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and use this trouser mount TM and use this to cut out the back pattern. So the back pattern is where we have our sewing allowance, our added allowance. Make sure you have at least 1.5 inch excess at the upper part. 1.5, at least 1.5. So I'm going to add my added allowance by the side all the way down. So 2.5 added allowance. 2.5. 2.5. Can you see? 2.5 inches. This upper part, make sure you mark out your 1.5 inch, that is by the side, that we removed from the side. Whatever you have left by that side is what you add to the upper part, and then you slant it to the waistline of the back. It's not meant to be straight, no, slant it to the waistline of the back. So I'm going to mark out my front pattern on this all around before cutting it out. So this is a very simple procedure. Make sure you have 1.5 inches added allowance at the upper part. Why? Because there is a bulge at the back, there is hip at the back, there is nyash at the back. So for it to cover it, the back has to be longer than the front. At the center, not the side. The side has to be equal. Can you see the side? This is the side of the front, this is the side of the back. So that's why I slanted it from here all the way up. So I've used my front to imitate the pattern on the back plus sewing allowance. So this is what I'll be cutting out for the back pattern. All the joining allowance is placed on the back, not on the front. So this is what we have. Can you see? This is the front, and then this is the back. So if you have any question, do well to let me know. And if you want better explanation, of course, you can ask questions in areas where you don't understand quite well. Enjoy your day.